Let's put the spotlight then on Vision AI startup SwitchOn. The company has recently raised $4.2 million in a Series A round. Aniruddha Banerjee is the co-founder of the company and now joins us on the show to talk about the fundraise plans, the growth targets, and of course, the future of AI. Good to have you on board. Thanks so much for joining in. So let's talk a little bit about some of the investors that have participated in this existing round. You've raised $4.2 million. What will the funds be utilized toward?
Let me start right off the bat with the fundraise. So we've raised $4.2 million from a Singapore-based fund and from Pi Ventures and Axelor Ventures. As you know that we are working on AI-powered quality inspection for the manufacturing industry. And we primarily intend to use this to both scale the product and be able to help our customers realize their dream of eliminating defects in their lines, as well as for doing expanding our go-to-market in India and US. So yeah, that's where this is primarily going to be invested.
So Aniruddha, let's just take the clock back. You and your co-founder were working very closely in the automotive industry as part of your earlier jobs where you understood the ins and outs really of the manufacturing environment. Is that what really gave birth to the idea of SwitchOn?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So basically, we worked very deeply with automotive and automotive products, right? And we were able to understand as we saw multiple manufacturing shop floors, we literally could see this in action where we had this predominant amount of automation in the manufacturing itself. But there used to be this 4 to 5 lines of people literally looking at a product, picking it up and figuring out a defect and so on and so forth, right? This seemed, at that point, even very error and slow. And that was the point when AI was not as mainstream as it is currently, right? With the use of, chat GPT and AI in general, right? But we, having the background in computer vision and AI from my personal perspective, as well as with Ovro, we really thought that computer vision and AI could solve this problem altogether. And that's how we started SwitchOn.
So Aniruddha, walk us through, who some of the leading global manufacturers are that are, form part of your client base, and domestically as well as globally, who are some of the partners or the customers rather?
Sure. Thank you so much. So we are basically working with some of the leading Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies in India and US presently. We work majorly in the automotive and consumer goods segment. In the consumer goods segment, we work with companies like Unilever and ITC, where we are inspecting anything from different kinds of bottle products to soap, to different kinds of packaged products, capsules, and so on, right? We also work in the automotive segment where we work with customers like SKF, where we are inspecting different kinds of pistons, bearings, engine parts, brake parts, and so on, right? So pretty much almost 30% of the products that go into a typical car, we inspect most of them.
So just give us a sense as to how you're looking to capitalize on the manufacturing boom. I mean, a lot of experts as well that we speak with on the channel allude to the fact that India is seeing a manufacturing renaissance of sorts. We've seen, the kind of PMI data as well that has come in that really points to a strong manufacturing growth. Given that you're so closely intertwined with this, what's the game plan? How are you looking to really leverage your position, reach out to more clients, customers, and expand your market share?
Sure, absolutely. So I think you're absolutely right in terms of a macro trend that we are seeing, that manufacturing is, shifting to India. And while earlier, most of the supply chains were centralized around China, etc. But now there is a very big push towards decentralizing that, and a lot of it is moving to India. And I believe that this is because of 3 reasons, one of which you mentioned is the PLI and in general, the government strategy around building infrastructure that makes manufacturing far more open, far more, far more aligned to the international consumer base. Also, I would say India as a labor base and as a skill base has come to force completely in this decade, where we are actually doing and manufacturing products like electronics that are very, very difficult and that require a certain degree of skill that I believe India has. And that is also something that we are now doing and now seeing. And the third thing is that I think there is a lot of focus and on the quality of the products that are being manufactured out of India, right? So I think as a country, we are not looking to play the low cost game anymore. I think we are now starting to play the premium high quality product game. And that is something where a lot of technology is being put in place to all stabilize the manufacturing processes in general, but there's also a lot of focus on quality inspection and automating that through visual inspection systems or other technology to be able to ensure 100% high quality product every time it gets manufactured, right? So a lot of automation is starting to come in, and that is something that we are, of course, in the straight crosshairs of.
Okay, fair enough. Now, as part of your expansion plans as well, you're looking to ramp up internationally with large enterprises and, make more hires in sales and technology. What's the plan when it comes to the global sphere?
So in terms of international plans, I think that's going to be a focus for us in the next few quarters. While we have a couple of customers in the US presently in the automotive segment, we are looking to open up the consumer goods segment as well, where we currently work with a lot of global brands and we are trying to drive our go-to-market deeper in the US. And what we've seen is that the cost of quality in the US is nearly 6 times of the cost in India, right? So we, as a customer, we can give them a lot more value in terms of the product that we have. For doing this, we are building up our go-to-market teams in the US as well, where we are looking to hire people in the sales and operations workforce in the US. We also are investing very deeply in our product development to align it to a lot of the analytics, etc., that would be required there. So yeah, I think that's going to be a focus for us in the next few quarters for sure.
So what kind of financials do you currently enjoy? How are you really making money? Are you profitable?
Great question. So right now we are seeing on the back of manufacturing increasing and the increasing demand for quality and technology there, we have seen roughly a 4x growth year over year in terms of our ARR, right, which is annual run rate. And we are looking to grow this by about 10 times because we have very recently won a bunch of global contracts, on the back of which we are looking to have a significant amount of revenue growth. We are also looking to significantly increase our team by about 3 times by the end of this year. From a profitability standpoint, we are investing very, very deeply in R&D. So we are not profitable yet, but definitely we enjoy very good degree of margins in most of our products because we enable our customers to reduce their quality costs by nearly 30 to 50% by installing our product.
Finally, just walk us through what you're looking at by way of a breakthrough in the AI space. What's going to be the next big thing to watch out for? We're already using ChatGPT. There's Equity GPT as well, as I understand. So what's the next big breakthrough in technology that we're likely to see?
Very interesting question. So I think AI is fundamentally going through a shift in terms of large language models that you're talking about, right? Where we see these very large, very large models being deployed for, I think, different kinds of use cases. What I feel will happen next is definitely a lot of these will get verticalized on different applications, right? So as you know that currently ChatGPT is more of a generic kind of a question answer platform, right? There is a lot of work in progress where these platforms are being verticalized, for example, for the finance segment, et cetera, right? Where they will be armed with specific domain knowledge of that industry, right? And that will make such kind of products a lot more effective, right? And they will make it a lot more commercial grade and usable, so to speak, right? So that's, I think, one very big trend that I am foreseeing in AI, right? Also, I am foreseeing that once this becomes usable, this will nearly plug into every single aspect of our lives. While we are presently talking about manufacturing, right? But even you can imagine in cars, in different kinds of products, it is going to get embedded to a point where I believe that you will not see AI anymore, but you will have a 10x to 100x better experience of just the product by that being powered by AI, right? So that's, I think, one of the very, very important and interesting trends that I'm seeing, and it will drastically improve our lives, and put us grossly into the domain of being more creative and in pursuit of more creative arts rather than doing something repetitive, right? So all of that will, I'm sure, be taken in by AI.
Thanks very much for giving us that. And we've already seen GPT-4. So a lot of tech innovation, introduction, and like you said, going to make the product experience a lot more seamless and better. Aniruddha, good to have you on board. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Avanne, for having me.